everyone, One Big Boss here. As you can tell by the title of the video that you clicked on, we're talking Metroid, but more specifically, isn't it about time that Super Metroid got a remake? Like, right now? Can we get it now? Look, it's no surprise that Super Metroid is probably the best, or at least one of the best looking entries in the franchise, however you want to look at it. The Metroid Prime series is fantastic. The remakes have been fantastic. The ones on the Game Boy, great, and the NES game, of course, is a timeless classic. So isn't it about time that this gets the treatment? Metroid Zero Mission came out on the Game Boy Advance way back in 2004, and Metroid 2, The Return of Samus, which was on the Game Boy back in 91, I believe, got the remake treatment back in 2017 with the 3DS version, Metroid Samus Returns. So I think it's about time we get this guy, or this girl I should say, a remake, because let's face it, it deserves it. Super Metroid has one of the best level and layout designs in all of Metroid history, in my personal opinion. Everything from the wrecked ship, Brinstar, Norfair, even just touching down on the planet at the beginning of Super Metroid, even the space colony area looks amazing. This game has aged well, ladies and gentlemen, and there's no denying it. You look at a lot of games on the Super Nintendo and they've all aged, well, not all of them, but many of them have aged beautifully throughout the years. Now the question you're probably asking yourself, well, what style would we choose? Would we go with the Metroid Samus Returns look, or do you want to keep sprite-based? And I'm saying sprite-based. And this is kind of something that I think could work very well. And I've been playing a lot of older sprite games and ones that got updated as time went on, and I look at something like the King of Fighters games throughout the years. King of Fighters have always had a very interesting look to them, and when it came to a game like Mark of the Wolves, well, that was a beautiful looking game. Characters just flowed so smooth on screen, and that's just sprite-based work, ladies and gentlemen. The background work was great. Same thing with King of Fighters on the PlayStation 3. That version of King of Fighters looked beautiful. It looked amazing. It was fantastic. Literally, there's nothing I can hate about it. Another example you could use is, how Street Fighter 2 looked back in the day. It was good for its time, right? And still is in many ways. You go to the Alpha series where it gets the more anime look and the sprite works a lot better than it was for the Street Fighter 2 series. And then you move to the Street Fighter Third Strike series, and while Third Strike isn't my personal favorite Street Fighter game, graphically that game still looks beautiful today, and the characters' fluidity in their movements, they have substance to them. They are amazing. Now, that's not to say the original Metroid didn't have that, or Super Metroid, I should say, because it did. Samus looked great in that game, even when she was just standing still and like the suit was moving, or she was underwater and air bubbles were coming out. The enemies moving on screen across the ground or above or flying at you. The bosses, everything looked amazing and really could benefit from a facelift. Could you imagine facing off against Kraid in a remake like that, and how awesome it would be? Or Phantoon, or exploring the wrecked ship with brand new sprite graphics that are just so unbelievably mind-blowing on your Nintendo Switch? Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Really think back to what Super Metroid did back in the day in terms of exploring. It wasn't super story heavy, but you didn't need that because the atmosphere of the game was done. The detail was there. You really look at the detail in this, and I'm not just talking about the enemies or Samus. You look at the background design, you look at the foreground design, you look at the ground that Samus is running across, you look at everything from the weapons. You get so much love in that game from the developers. All the ideas that they put into making this game and making every area feel like, hey, this music and area fits really well. It's very nice. These bosses are friggin' incredible in this level. Super Metroid just deserves that, and I'm really hoping that Nintendo, once they get done with the eventual Metroid Prime 4, whenever that's happening, thank God Retro Games is back on doing that, but I really hope that at the end of the day, they consider this, because I think this game definitely deserves the remake treatment, and with all the games that are getting remakes nowadays and how hot they are, I truly feel that this game would go along and be a big seller for Nintendo. Nintendo has to capitalize more on Metroid, because Metroid has the power, maybe not on the same level of like Super Mario and The Legend of Zelda or Donkey Kong maybe, but it's up there. People love Samus. She is an icon for a lot of people out there, especially a lot of women. A lot of women I knew, kind of like the Bayonetta factor, as I call it, When Bayonetta came out, I knew a lot of people back in the day that wanted to get into shape, and then years later I found out they got in shape because of Bayonetta, and that's why they wanted to cosplay her, they wanted to feel powerful. Same with Samus. Samus got a lot of people I know to eat healthier and work out. It was amazing what this character in this game franchise has done for people, and I really hope Nintendo understands that in the future, because there's just a lot of people out there that I know that love this franchise just as much as I do, and if we get a remake of Super Metroid, maybe in the future, we get ourselves a Metroid Fusion remake. How cool would that be? Because Fusion is a damn good successor to Super Metroid. It really is. So with that being said, please let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Do you want to see Super Metroid get the remake treatment, or do you want to just leave it as it is? Because, hey, at least we're still getting her ported over to things like the Nintendo Switch and the older Virtual Console systems, so there was that. Let me know down in the comments below. So with that being said, please thumbs up and subscribe because it's free, and this day and age, free's a damn good thing. As always, everybody, thank you for watching. I'm One Big Boss, and I will see you all next time.
Hey guys, thanks again for watching this video. If you can give it a share, that'd help my channel out big time. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, where I'm most active. Links down below in the description. Also, if you want to see me stream some video games, follow me on my Twitch channel as well. Many thanks again, guys. Greatly appreciate it.